G'day ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another Bitcoin update. Today we're going to be diving into the Bitcoin charts, giving you an update of what's happening within the descending wedge formation, but also answering, and more importantly, answering very important questions about Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, and Ethereum, including the Ethereum all-time high. What will happen with Bitcoin between now and the halving? What will happen if Bitcoin reaches a new all-time high before the halving? What will happen if Bitcoin goes down below the new lows, before the halving? Many questions to answer, all of which are very important. But before we get into anything, we do want to check out the Bitget Exchange just briefly here. 15% trading fee discount with my referral link. We also have a promotion going on right now where if you deposit up to 1,000 USD on the Bitget Exchange, you'll get a 10% cash back reward bonus. There are terms and conditions for the bonus, but for example, if you deposit 1,000 USD, you get 100 USD as a bonus there. So check out the description for the referral link that is available to everyone there. Without further ado, guys, let's get into the video. Let's get into the questions. So starting with question number one, and again, I'm choosing the best questions out of these questions here. What would you do if Bitcoin reached a new all-time high before the halving? So to answer this question, we have to get a basis of what he means by that. He means that Bitcoin is expected, as per the 4-year cycle theory, to reach an all-time high after the halving, because after the halving, which is this pink line here, is where the bull market really starts to kick off. So until that point, we shouldn't be seeing a traditional bull market. We only see it after the halving. And so what would happen if Bitcoin reaches an all-time high before the halving? Would that throw off the 4-year cycle, is what he was saying. Now, I don't think it's going to happen, personally. I don't think Bitcoin will reach all-time high before the halving. An all-time high is 170% away. We haven't seen Bitcoin reach an all-time high before the halving in the previous 2 cycles. But if it does, what would I do? I would do nothing. I would keep everything as planned because, and my reason is this, we've only ever seen 2 periods of the bear market like this before. 2 periods of bear markets like this before isn't enough to make a trend. And so there's no actual trend of Bitcoin not reaching an all-time high before the halving. It's just what's happened on 2 occasions, which could be a coincidence. So I wouldn't act in any way. It certainly is possible. It would be abnormal because, obviously hasn't happened the last 2 times, but that's not a trend yet. So it wouldn't be so abnormal that it would invalidate any of our predictions. So I wouldn't do anything. I'd keep everything as planned. I'd still think the bull market, the actual bull market, would occur after the halving. That is the plan there. What is your analysis on the Ethereum Bitcoin chart? In my opinion, it never looked like it went into a bear market. Now, the Ethereum Bitcoin chart, I know you asked about BTC Ethereum chart, but the Ethereum Bitcoin chart's actually a better one to look at. It doesn't need to go into a bear market or a bull market. That's not really how these charts work. Instead of measuring Ethereum via USD, the Ethereum Bitcoin chart measures Ethereum via Bitcoin. And so basically, it's measuring that 1 Ethereum, as of right now, if the price at 0.69 is 1 Ethereum is 0.069 Bitcoin, right? So what you can see is this is going sideways. All this really tells us is that Ethereum is not gaining strength against Bitcoin. It's been going sideways since around May 2021, and overall it's been going sideways since 2017. It basically only says that Ethereum is not getting stronger against Bitcoin. 1 Ethereum is not getting stronger against 1 Bitcoin. Now, obviously, the market caps are different because circulating supply is different, but overall, that's all it really says. It can be useful when looking into things like Bitcoin dominance and altcoin season, but that's not a chart we're really concerned about looking at right now, so I'd take that off your watch list for the time being. I don't think it's necessarily important at this point in the cycle. Perhaps in bull market, we'll start looking at it again. Where would Bitcoin find support in the case of a black swan event similar to COVID-19? This is an important question, okay, because obviously, I personally do not think that Bitcoin will go downwards to new lows. I do not think Bitcoin will drop below 15K, and that's based on the 4-year cycle theory, which is the strongest trend Bitcoin has. And as an analyst who relies on trends, relies on historical data, which is what every analyst actually does fundamentally, even when looking at things like triangle formations and channel formations, ultimately it's all based on historical data. I actually don't think that Bitcoin will go down below 15K, but if it did, and if there was a black swan event, and the key word is black swan event because that's an unexpected event we can't predict, and hence I can't predict whether it's going to happen or not. There is always a likelihood of a black swan event, but obviously it's not something we can predict, so we can't rely on it. But if we were to actually go below 15K, where would Bitcoin find support? Well, lower support levels on Bitcoin rest at places like 13.8K and rest at places like 11.5K. Between 13.8K and 11.5K is a very strong chunk of support on Bitcoin. We reached support resistance during that region in 2017 and 2018, and also here during 2019 and 2020 before the explosion upwards. If we were to see new lows, that is where the new lows would be. They would be between 11.5K and 13.8K. And this is something I've been saying for over a year now. I've been saying over a year that those levels are important levels to watch if we did go lower, which again, I don't think is particularly likely at all. Moving forward, MACD on the monthly chart, please. So he's asking me to look at the MACD on the monthly chart. The MACD on the monthly chart, let me find my monthly chart here, is coming in for a bullish cross. And this lines up pretty well with the macro analysis we've done. We have seen a rejection on the monthly chart, and we've seen a breakdown below the 21 EMA, a rejection from that red resistance line. You can see a pattern forming on the monthly chart here where we have a red resistance line during the bull market, a yellow resistance line, support line during the bear market that marks our bottoms. We have actually unfortunately rejected from the red resistance line there. That's not very good, but we do have many bullish indicators on weekly chart, on daily chart, which we'll get into at the end of this video, and you're probably very aware of it right now. The price action's been boring. If you've watched any of my videos in the last 2 weeks, you know. But, overall, there are indications that monthly crop, that bearish monthly candle close, the bearish engulfing candle on the monthly chart won't be enough to drag Bitcoin downwards. And one of those indications, of course, is the MACD bullish cross, which is incoming, and that will be happening, probably within the next few months, which is obviously good news for Bitcoin. Generally speaking, bullish MACD month-D crosses aren't things to be reckoned with, right? When they happen, they generally indicate massive shifts in trend, massive shifts in the momentum there, and obviously a bullish one's very good for Bitcoin. In the same way that a bearish one was very bad for Bitcoin back here in around January 2022, just near the top, which led to a downwards trend. So that's obviously good news, there's no doubt about that. Do you think that Bitcoin is the only asset following the 4-year cycle? No, because every single coin in the market, for the most part, okay, yes, there are short-term deviations, but for the most part, every single coin in the market follows Bitcoin, and hence every single coin in the market follows Bitcoin's 4-year cycle theory. Now, again, there are deviations. Altcoins do die, altcoins do pump sporadically, but generally speaking, the market follows Bitcoin. And you can very easily see this being the case if you just look at total cryptocurrency market cap. This is a chart that shows the entire cryptocurrency market cap, right? So the entire market cap of every single cryptocurrency together. And you can see this chart looks incredibly similar to the Bitcoin chart. We go to the Bitcoin monthly chart, they look bloody the same. We go to the monthly, and then we bring it up, and we'll just flick through here. Since 2018, if you look at it, these charts are the same thing. That's because everything follows Bitcoin, and hence everything in the market follows Bitcoin's 4-year cycle. That's just another reason to see it as such an important thing, because it is truly important. Do I think that Ethereum will reach 10,000 USD in 2025? During the next bull run, which will top in 2025 as per 4-year cycle, do I believe that Ethereum will reach 10,000? Now, it reached around 5,000 in the last cycle, around 4,000-ish in the last cycle, and so all the need to do was 2x from the previous all-time high. I do think just on paper that's very possible. If we're looking at the percentage gain on Ethereum from the 2018 bottom to the all-time high in 2021, we see it was a 6,000% gain. From the bottom here in 2022, we would only need to see a 1,000% gain to reach 10,000. It's very, very achievable, especially considering the 4-year cycle vaguely. Again, this is not a prediction. It's very speculative. I've done videos on this before. I'll do them again in the future when it's more relevant. The 4-year cycle vaguely predicts that Bitcoin will be seeing a 120k top, give or take quite a bit. It's very rough. Which is about 700% higher than the low. So if you see a 700% gain on Bitcoin, it's very, very easily stands to reason we'll see a 1,000% gain in Ethereum, because Ethereum is a lower market cap. So yes, I do believe that Ethereum will reach 10k in the next bull market in 2025. That's something I do believe, yes. Unless obviously something happens with the circulating supply. There obviously are possibilities of things like that happening. I know that the Ethereum supply is increasing, and so that could drag that down. That things like that complicate the charts slightly, but just based on the charts themselves, it does seem likely. Again, I don't know much about the fundamentals as of this point. It's not something I'm particularly concerned about at this point. During the bull market, we'll get into that question more. But based on the charts themselves, yes, it does seem likely that that Ethereum will reach 10k in 2025. Is the current structure on the Bitcoin daily chart similar to an inverted cup and handle pattern? Now, an inverted cup and handle pattern is basically a pattern that looks like this, right? So it's a cup there, so it's a rounding top, and then a handle, okay? And generally, it breaks the downside. That's what an inverted cup and handle pattern formation is. It's a bearish formation. And this guy's asking a question, does it look like that on Bitcoin? And, you could make the argument for it, but overall, I think it's actually a descending wedge formation. If you look at what he's trying to say, it looks like this. But there's no clearly identifiable handle, in my opinion. And there's no clearly identifiable cup. I wouldn't say that's a rounding top. I'd say that's more of a peak top, right? More of a, almost closer to something like a head and shoulders pattern, if anything. So no, I don't think it's an inverted cup and handle formation. Even if it was, we still have a very clear, very, very clear descending wedge formation, which is overall the favorable structure. When you're looking at charting patterns, right? you want to be looking at the lined patterns first. They are the more important patterns. You know, for example, looking at something like a triangle formation is much more reliable than looking at something like a head and shoulders formation. That's just how it works. Anything with lines is more reliable because there's clearly identifiable support and resistance zones. Now, obviously, you have necklines and things like that, but necklines deviate. There's generally fake outs, etc. They're very, very hard to identify for most of the market, and hence most of the market don't react to them as well. So obviously, lined formations like descending wedge formations are more reliable, and hence we can say that Bitcoin is actually in a bullish structure here because a descending wedge formation, although it's a downwards trend, generally breaks to the upside. So no, I don't think that Bitcoin is necessarily facing a inverted cup and handlestick formation. With the approaching weekly MACD cross downwards, so a bearish MACD cross is coming on the weekly chart, how can we take positions? Again, I highly recommend, look, this is the way I see the charts. I'm not doing anything in terms of selling or buying until this wedge breaks. This wedge is everything. This wedge from a daily chart is everything. We have FOMC in about 9 days. We have CPI in 9 days as well. On the same day, we're seeing FOMC and CPI. In 9 days, we will likely see the volatility that will drag Bitcoin either up out of this wedge or down out of a wedge. That's when you make the decision. You make the decision when the structure is confirmed to be broken to the upside or downside. You do not make major decisions on your portfolio when you are in a structure, when you are in consolidation, especially when you are in a bullish one. It's just simply not what you do. And the final question we have here, the S&P 500 closed 2 monthly candle closes above the 21 monthly EMA. Can this be a reversal pattern? He's basically asking whether the S&P 500 has reversed to the upside or not. Now, I certainly do think there are many bullish indicators on the S&P 500. A lot of people like to constantly label this as a bearish chart. I don't think the chart itself is bearish. The fundamentals surrounding the chart might be bearish, but the chart itself is actually pretty bullish at this point. We had an uptrending ascending wedge formation, which is very, very bearish, stemming all the way back here from September 2022. This pink one here, we broke it to the upside very recently, closed a weekly candle above it. We broke an RSI resistance to the upside that stemmed from August 2022 as well, closed a weekly candle above it on the RSI as well. We've broken the bearish structure to the upside in the S&P, and we've claimed back major support. We're currently, up from the lows, roughly 22%, and we've been bottomed out for over 8 months. So to say the S&P 500 is bearish is ridiculous. I'm not even saying, I'm not even going to answer the question whether it's reversed or not. The fact of the matter is it has reversed, right? Because in order for a downwards trend to be a downwards trend, you need to be seeing lower highs and lower lows. That is a downwards trend. We're not seeing that anymore. We've broken, right, the lower highs. We've got a higher high here, right? And we've got a higher low here as well. We are in an upwards trend locally on the S&P 500. The question actually is, will it reverse again? And that depends on things like CPI and FOMC, which will be coming in 9 days. So the S&P 500, as of right now, is in a local upwards trend. Yes, the overall trend is downwards, right? But the overall trend's always going to be downwards until we break the all-time high again. So that's not really worth much. I think it's just kind of a thing that the bears say. The overall picture of the S&P 500 is, guess what? We've been bottomed out for 8 months and we're up 22%. It's pretty damn good. We've just broken the bearish structure to the upside as well. So again, I'm not saying it's not going to go down. That relies on a lot more than the charts. But the charts do reflect fundamentals to a certain extent. So, if it really did look bad, the charts would be going down preemptively because the charts price things in. So, perhaps it's not as bad as people think it is. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see what the data suggests. But that's basically all I can say about Bitcoin, guys. There's really not much progressions happening in the market right now at all. I've got some content that I'm saving for tomorrow's video, so I have something to talk about because I think I wanted to keep this video to do with the questions I have here. But we do have stuff to talk about tomorrow, but overall, today, that's about it. I think you guys know the drill by now. I've been posting videos about Bitcoin in the same structure for, a couple of weeks now, so it's getting a bit repetitive, but I hope I answered some unique questions there that got you thinking, and maybe you can challenge some of the arguments there in the comment section or say why you agree or disagree with them and we can get some dialogue going. So, without further ado, guys, let's end the video there. Before we end it, quickly, the Crypto Academy, you want to learn how to trade, you want to chart up coins, you want to trade coins, find coins to trade. Everything you need to know is in the Crypto Academy's Become a Trader course. The website link is in the description below. You can learn how to trade using this course. And also, we've got the VIP group, guys. If you want to trade altcoins with me in the VIP group, I give you entries, I give you take profits, I give you stop loss zones, I give you everything you need to trade the coins. You chart them up and you trade them. That's the VIP group. It's on Telegram, and the pricing is available in the description below, as well as the previous results for our trades. Every single win and loss we've ever done there is in the description below on the Telegram group. So check it out, guys. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you in the next one.